Hey guys, my name is George Sturgis and we're with Jen Limon and Seth Tuner. We're going to talk today a little bit about ADA and COVID, and I'll let them introduce themselves to get this going. Why don't you take us off, Seth?
So I'm Seth Tuner. I'm the founder of AbsenceSoft. I've been spending 20 years plus now. That makes me really old in the leave management industry, but I think we've spent so much time on ADA. We're really excited to talk about this. And Jen has been a valued friend for many of those years.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Limon. I'm VP of Industry Solutions here at AbsenceSoft. Super excited to talk through what we're seeing in the ADA landscape during these interesting times, as tired as we are all of saying that.
I think we're all very tired of that, but I appreciate you guys both jumping on for a quick little tableside discussion, I guess is what we're calling this. That's COVID friendly and socially distant friendly over Zoom. So let's talk about ADA and kind of 2021 and how accommodations are going to be affected throughout maybe the rest of Q4 and then maybe running into, halfway through next year. Seth, how do you see this kind of playing out in the coming months?
So, most of our clients aren't returning to office until June or July and that's more a check-in. They may not return longer after that. I think what we're seeing are those clients that are returning are finding that they have a lot of employees that are at risk or live with at risk, and they're not comfortable coming back. I also think we're starting to see people actually accept that COVID's real. I mean, I think that's kind of a funny thing to say, but I built my office out, and you can kind of see it. I'm here in my guest room in my house, but 2 weeks ago, and we've been at home for 6+ months. So I think we're starting to see accommodations for people that had sit-stand desks at work or some other accommodation there that are now asking for that. I think the third biggest risk that I see are the people that were furloughed that maybe had spent a lot of time standing, 10 hours a day on an assembly line or doing other things. And now they are returning to work after watching Netflix for the last 6 months. And that's hard.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more, I lost the strength that I used to have in my body when I was lifting 50 pounds regularly, or to Seth's point.
The musculoskeletal is going to be crazy weird.
Yeah.
And that was already the number one, accommodation or.
Yeah, I think employers have to be ready to be inventive as well with what they're able to offer their employees as accommodations. I know before we kind of started recording today, the three of us were talking as Halloween's approaching. Kids are back in school in lots of instances. I mean, I know Seth spends his weekend on sidelines of soccer fields. I think we'll see cases rise within schools, more remote learning, which we've seen here in Colorado quite a bit of, and also the need to accommodate parents who need to help their children during the day when they're working from home. Their children, maybe aren't usually at home. Circumstances are changing back and forth, and how, schedule accommodations or accommodations for longer breaks during the day to help facilitate distance learning are necessary for employees as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
and I think at the end of the day, and as a compliance organization like we are, I mean, it's all about documenting. Mm-hmm. So these accommodations are going to happen. How do you track it? How do you make sure you're communicating it clearly? There's obviously policy changes and other things that have to happen, but how do you facilitate that?
Well, I think one thing we've seen with our client base is with our ability within our product to configure accommodation types, they're adding more non-typical accommodations and that they can just automatically approve, those 2 hours to help with remote learning a day, or approving sit-stand desks to be bought online and shipped to the employee's house, approving, no-brainers like keyboards or more ergonomically friendly mice that may be standard within the office space in a traditional office setting are starting to trickle into homes. So, I've seen a huge uptick, I would say 70% uptick in those being added into our product by some of our largest and most innovative clients.
So I would say across our client base, I mean, we're seeing a 300% uptick in accommodation cases.
And I think it goes back to what you were saying before, Seth and Jen. It's, this doesn't seem like it's going to end by the end of 2020. Everyone kind of talks about how we're going to go back in July and how things might get rolled back to normal, but we don't know. And it seems like as the accommodations goes up, accommodation requests go up, it seems like the longer that this is going to keep going.
Yeah, I think we're in it for the long haul, and anything we can do to support employees, helps everyone from a mental health standpoint as well. And maybe that's something we can get into in a later video.
We could spend another 2 days on mental health. I'm right there. But I think, George, to your point, is even when we do open offices back up, I think the last stat I saw was more than 50% of employees want to stay at home.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I know we could talk all day about this kind of stuff, but we're going to cut Seth off a little bit because if Jen and I don't do that, he could sit here and talk all day. But we're going to try to do these probably maybe every other week, 2 times a month, 3 times a month, about trending topics in FMLA and ADA. Stop by our blog, sign up to learn more. We'd love to hear from you and love to hear some feedback. So thanks so much, everyone, for stopping by.
Thanks, everyone.